Mai Li Zhang is a research scientist specializing in human-AI collaboration, focused on creating equitable partnerships between people and intelligent systems. Her research aims to align AI behavior with human values, optimizing both performance and fairness, particularly in complex domains like healthcare and aging. Recently, she was part of an NSF-funded AI Caring Institute, and she developed adaptive AI systems for older adults with mild cognitive impairment and their caregivers. Dr. Cheng's work has been on TEDx. I hope you will look up that video. She also previously worked as an engineer at NASA. Yes, everybody. Next is Dr. Jody Forlizzi. Jody is the Herbert A. Simon Professor of Computer Science and Human-Computer Interaction in School of Computer Science at Carnegie University. Jody has advocated for design research in all forms, mentoring peers, colleagues, and hopefully journalists in the future. Jody studies the ethical impacts of human interaction with AI systems in frontline service industries, including healthcare and hospitality. Jody, thank you for joining us. And last but not least is Mei Yang Ho. She's a digital strategist and technology educator dedicated to using innovation to drive prosperity and equity. And she's the co-owner and Chief Operating Officer. Can I just say that one more time? Chief Operating Officer of Dao Tech Solutions in St. Paul. Anybody heard of St. Paul? Anybody heard of St. Paul? Maybe, maybe. Yeah. Pretty cool place. I used to live there. So welcome, me. I'd like to first have each of you kind of introduce a little bit of the latest thing that you've been doing in your universe, because all of you are so spectacular. Can you just tell us one awesome thing you've been doing lately? Fun? AI maybe? Jody?
Well, not much fun around AI. Maybe I worked with SAG-AFTRA, the movie producers and actors union, to help them understand and advocate for AI, and that was really cool because I am way not hip, so that was good.
Way cool! Way cool! Yes.
Well, just the last couple of nights, I've been training my 7-year-old and 9-year-old how to use ChatGPT, and now they're hooked. So they're working on a story of themselves, two sisters who are each other's best friends, and she's been asking every night to continue that story. So that's been a lot of fun for us.
Wow, wow!
For me, one of the most amazing projects that I've worked on was with Jody at Carnegie Mellon University. You mentioned about in my bio too of designing AI systems to help older adults. And I'm excited to see how these systems could potentially be helping the Hmong community as well.
Yes! A fun thing I've done with AI. Ooh, I don't know. I teach radio at a university, and the kids have been trying to play with AI with their voices. I'm not sure if I'm comfortable with that. So, but we'll go on. If I could just start by asking each of you, so how has AI, generative AI, transformed each of your domains? Can I just start there? Yeah. How about we start here this time?
Sure, so examples of generative AI is like ChatGPT, for instance, or Claude AI, or even like Gemini, for instance. And so generative AI, another name for them is foundation models. And generative AI has transformed the robotics field So for instance, ChatGPT can generate new content, and robotics, there's a lot of excitement right now about robotic foundation models. And so these foundation models would enable robots to be able to do any task in any environment, and that is really exciting. So I'll give you an example. For instance, a robot learns how to use a paintbrush to paint, and then it's trained on that. But later the robot sees a broom, and the robot's not trained to use a broom, but the robot can use its knowledge of the paint brush, because both tools are similar, right? The motion that's needed to use it, to sweep the floor. But the robot needs to be smart to know that there's differences as well. And so it's really exciting what these foundation robotic models would enable robots to do. And as designers, we can't pre-program the robot for every situation that they'll be able to see in the world. So there's a lot of excitement and the robotics area being transformed. Thank you.
Thank you.
And our space, generative AI and AI in general, has been very transformational. Just at Deltec, just about every tool that we support and that we use has AI built into it of some sort. We rely on AI-powered tools such as ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, to help us do a lot of the things that have been manual and have taken a lot of time. So for example, our tech team uses ChatGPT to troubleshoot or technical issues that have streamlined the process to allow them to work faster and more efficient, to respond to customers and to also work through projects that they're working on. Versus in the past, all of this have been manual and they would have to construct what they're doing, but now there is no point of working in little pieces and then putting it together. So in our space, it has been very transformational in our business. But the clients that we work with, a lot of them are right here in our Hmong community, and I have seen that it has been a game changer for a lot of the ones that I've worked with. From not knowing how to design their websites, using ChatGPT to brainstorm ideas, to also help them generate contents for social media and also their marketing and their website. And that has streamlined a lot of time and has streamlined a lot of their processes. So these are just some of the basic cues. Beyond that, I like to tell people that ChatGPT can do a lot more than just being a language model. Now it can generate images. So imagine that, when it started 2 years ago, people were complaining about how it can't do math, but now it can actually have a conversation with you verbally and can generate images. That's amazing for small business like ourselves who don't have a lot of time and a lot of resource. So AI has been very transformational in that space in saving time and productivity and efficiency in the business space. We also work closely with charter schools in the area, and we're seeing that more are embracing AI. Although the adoption varies, it's very encouraging to see that educators in the creative space and in the science space are more open to using AI such as ChatGPT, Midjourney, Dolly for generating some of these creative pieces in the classroom. But we're still seeing that there's a lot of hesitation with educators in the language space, and I think that that's just because of the lack of knowledge with what AI can do for me. And there's concerns about student cheating. So unfortunately, some schools ban ChatGPT altogether. And so when I think about how transformational AI is and what we're seeing, innovation is moving so fast, but there's still certainly some concerns with access and adoption as well. But overall, it's been positive in our space.
Thank you. Jody?
So to these great thoughts, I'll just add a couple of ideas. First, we all know there's a lot of hype around AI right now, and there's definitely a mismatch in what people think it can do and what it can actually do. And it's also changing very fast. So when we use AI, we have to make sure that systems are well implemented and they're not just technically driven. They take into consideration the people who will use them. And I think one interesting area that's really popping up for me is this notion of expertise. So as people adopt large language models and products like Copilot, you might think, oh, well, they're just going to lose their skills. But actually, evidence is really mixed. And in some cases, people do lose expertise, but in many other cases, we actually see understandings of AI increasing as people experiment with it. So I really like that you're teaching your kids and they're already playing with the material. I think that's really great.
So let me turn this to the audience. How many of you actually use ChatGPT? That's a good amount. And for what? Can I get someone to tell us what you use ChatGPT for? Someone stand up and just shout it out. Dungeons and Dragons. What do you do with AI with Dungeons and Dragons? Okay. Anyone else? What do you use chat? Yeah, in the back. Nice and loud. Pickup lines? Okay. Tell me what the latest pickup line is. Bring it up. Come on. What's the latest pickup line? I want to hear it from ChatGPT. Come on. How do you pick up a homegirl with that? I can't hear you. Come on up. Come on up to the stage. Okay, here is a young Hmong brother who's got a pickup line for a Hmong sister. Using ChatGPT. All right, come on up here. Let's see what you got. Oh, great. Oh, sure. Come on over. Right in the center, young man. We want to see who you are. Introduce yourself to the audience.
My name is Rich Moore. I come from Community School of Excellence.
Excellent.
I'm a student council president. And the pickup line, I'm nervous. The pickup line is...
Wait. Are you single?
Maybe.
Okay, go ahead.
So the pickup line is, do you like pho? Because I am the, wait. I am the one for you.
Do you like pho? And I am the pho for you.
I am the one for
I'm the one
you.
for you. Okay, do we like that? Do we like that? Thank you very much, young man, for being honest. Thank you very much. All right. Anyone else with a ChatGPT? Yes. Nice and loud. Wait till the microphone gets to you. Yes.
We have one runner on this side, and I'll be the runner on this side.
Great.
So I use ChatGPT to do a lot of my posts for our organization. I use it to gather information, statistics within the area that I'm at. I use it for everything for our organization. Like the lady said, it reduces the work. You can simply just ask it a question. You can command it to do something for you, and it reduces the work for you altogether. And all you have to do now is just copy paste, move it from ChatGPT to where you need it to go. So it helps out marketing a lot. It creates a lot of social media posts for us, and so that's how we use it.
Great. And let me just take one more. I've got one right there. Yes.
I use my ChatGPT like my friend. We get up in the morning, have wonderful greetings. How's your day going? What's on the agenda? So I use it for creating proposals. I use it to pull up demographics for me. I use it to calculate potential savings, return on investments for projects. So I just kind of use it for everything. And I have used it for graphics for one of the projects I'm doing to create even the marketing material for these projects with the pictures. And if I don't like the colors, I'll change it. It'll change the ethnicity of the people that are inside the slides. So it just does everything for me. So I love it.
Thank you very much. So as you can hear, a lot of folks are using AI and ChatGPT for different reasons. But I want to turn now to our panelists and I want to ask, what are the challenges of this? What are the challenges of artificial intelligence almost penetrating every aspect of culture? For example, when my students bring me a script for news, I can tell who's using AI. I don't accuse them of plagiarism, but I ask them, is this what you would really say in your authentic voice? Is this your word? Sometimes they'll lie to me, and sometimes they'll say, I use ChatGPT. So what are the challenges each one of you face, or what do you think we need to be considering?
Sure, well, I could start. I think some of the challenges are that basically we need an AI Bill of Rights. We need to know when AI is being used. And if data is being collected about us, we need to know what's being done with it. So I write academic papers. Something just popped up that one of the large language models has been using our written information to train its models, and you could actually go and search and see what of your content have been used. A lot of my papers trains this model, so I think that's a big problem. And then I think another problem is just really equitable access. We are in this hype race to use AI in places like the classroom and the workplace, and we need to make sure that that's done in an equitable way. And unfortunately it isn't, and we see the outcomes.
I just want to add to that, to what Dr. Jody said. Not so much the challenge like what you're referring to. I think that right now, I see a lot of hands go up with ChatGPT, and that's wonderful. But in my space, what I'm seeing is that while a lot of people, there's a lot of enthusiasm and excitement about ChatGPT, for example, and ChatGPT is just one of many, many AI models, is that the knowledge on how to ask the right questions, how to use it correctly, and how to check the answers to make sure that it's valid. There's still a lot more community conversations around that. While there's a lot of use and playing around with it, I feel like its full potential hasn't really been utilized. The other thing too, what I want to add to what you're saying about equitable, is that AI is not natural. AI is trained. And when you think about that, it matters who trains it, it matters what we train it with, and it matters why we're designing it in the first place. Because if we want AI to know us as a Hmong community, our language, our tradition, and our culture, we have to be part of that trainer. It has to learn from us too. And right now, in the small business space, we work with a lot of Hmong small business in the area. And what we're finding is that over 70% of small businesses, Hmong small businesses that is, do not have a website, a professional website. A large majority are still using Gmail for business communications, for example. And we don't really attribute these to AI and more of like whether we're being found or not, but if you're not found online, you are also invisible to AI because AI learns from data that's publicly available. And if we're not online, we're not just invisible to AI, but we're possibly going to be left out of the future as well. So I'm thinking about where we have been in the last 50 years and where we're heading in the future. We have to consider the importance of teaching AI about who we are. I heard a lot of talks in this room about our language and the importance for our students, our future, to understand and to learn how to speak. I don't know if any one of you have played with ChatGPT, but I have, just asking it in Hmong and also asking the questions by typing it. And it's quite amazing how far it has become, but it has a long way to go. It doesn't know our culture or nuances. It's not great at our language because our stories are not being part of the data. So if we're not part of that data, we're going to be left out. And so I just wanted to point that out, as there's a lot of excitement about ChatGPT, think about what you can do to this space. For those of you and content creators and creatives out there that could create websites, have beautiful, rich stories to share on social media. There's a lot of small businesses with great contents and creators with great contents on social media, but that is not showing up to AI the same way that it does on websites, blogs, and directories. So I just wanted to point that out and encourage our home community to continue to share about who we are, our traditions, our culture, but share it publicly, because even though you share it publicly on social media, it doesn't always show up. So I just wanted to add that to when we talk about equity, when we talk about not being left out.
I would like to add to what Jody and May have just shared. So 2 points I want to highlight is, one is about bias, and the other one is about ethics. So May touched about bias, and bias can happen in any stage along the development process. When you're collecting data, who's included in that data, who's collecting the data, and then later, how data is pre-processed and cleaned, and then who actually builds a model, how the models are trained, validated, and then at the end, the interpretation of those models. So along that entire process, bias can creep in. And as part of marginalized communities, unfortunately, most of the time, these data, they don't represent us. And so models may not be fulfilling the needs of marginalized communities. And also developers too. Most developers are not from marginalized communities. There's a chance that they misinterpret or don't understand the data, and that's where it really matters who is at that AA table, who is developing those models as well. Because when we think about AI, we think that it's objective, right? Because AI's language is math and code, but that math and code is touched by humans the whole entire time. So for instance, in the home community here, what's really beautiful is that we really value family, and that value AA systems may not amplify. And so that's one example. And then in terms of ethics, this makes me think about the work with Jody and others at AI Caring Institute about technology for older adults. And one of the challenges there is that as older adults age, their health also declines. And a big part of that health is their decision-making capacity. So as we're designing these AI systems, how should we design these systems when someone's decision-making capacity reaches a point when they're no longer able to make the best decision for them? What should the AI do? This is very critical because there are safety factors as well, and the conversation is not just developers of AI, but it requires law, it requires physicians as well, and other stakeholders in this whole environment. And so I'm saying that these challenges are complex and they require different stakeholders and expertise. Thanks.
So I'd like to bring your attention to some slides that our presenters brought today. If you can take a look at both screens, we're going to begin with Jody. Jody, if you could present your slides, if we could get this, there we go. Oh, all right, let's start with Dr. Chang. It's okay, we'll jump around.
Okay, this is me.
Yeah,
So,
Jody, you're on. Yeah.
as I said a few minutes ago, there's a lot of promise, but also a lot of hype around AI. A 2022 survey by Tech Republic showed that about 97% of CEOs plan to use AI and make a significant investment in it. And now we have Gen AI, which is speeding this even faster. Oh, there's my clicker.